Yeah, Don. It's Kalisha, Bomani Jones, and Kate Fagan. Hello, Kate. Hello, everybody. Today, Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth.
Jordan Spieth.
Oh, who wants Izzy and Frank's points?
Let me get that.
You get that. Also, everything else. Yes, 9 times. Let's go around the horn. Dominant like a 21-year-old Tiger. Gutsy like an any-year-old Phil. Wire to wire like Avon to Marlowe. He is the future whatever for golf. Madonna, what did you think of Spieth's wire to wire win?
I think much like Tiger's dominant performance in '97, this is an omen and not an exception. It's an indication that he's here to stay. Think about it. 2 Masters, the worst he's done is finish second. Never shot above par in any round at the Masters. You can go on and on. Most birdies in the tournament. First guy to get to -19. I liked his demeanor so much. Even when he talked about last year's finish, everything's about what's next, and that's what golf is all about. You can't worry about the putt you missed on the last green. You can't worry about the great drive you just hit. It's always about the next shot, and that is his mentality. He's not going to be the cultural phenomenon that Tiger Woods was. He's not going to bring more people into the tent, but he's going to be at the top of leaderboards for a long time.
Tim Kalisha?
In a lot of ways, what Jordan Spieth did yesterday, even though he didn't have the big lead Tiger did when he shot his 18 under par, it was more impressive because when Tiger did it, he was physically better. He was out driving the field by 30 yards. He was able to hit short irons into par 5s. You watch yesterday, Jordan Spieth is getting outdriven by Justin Rose. Statistically, he's not great at anything.
So what makes
he
him
is
special?
Fantastic at is he just grinds. He knows how to play golf. He is completely fearless. When he gets into a showdown with Rory McIlroy or anybody going forward or in a major or a Ryder Cup, he will have no fear of that.
So golfers know how to golf? Is that what you're telling us? That's the secret to Spieth's success? Bomani Jones, how about you?
Look, after you get through seeing a tournament like that and the way he performed, you have to put this in the context of the fact that Rory McIlroy won the last 2 majors of last year. Like, you might have that rivalry with these 2 guys, these 2 young guys, that could be a great thing for golf. That's what you look at. I mean, wire to wire is impressive, and the 18 under par is impressive, but I hope that we're going to be able to evaluate how impressive Spieth was, not in the context of Tiger Woods, because Tim said even though he didn't have that big lead, you can't even though away that big lead. Tiger didn't just blow away the course. Tiger blew away the entire PGA Tour in 1997, and then remember that it took him about 2 years to win another major, the 99 PGA. So if you don't get another one for Spieth, that's not him falling off. But this was a great weekend, and it was a weekend that he deserves all the credit in the world for on its own merit, not compared to Tiger.
And Kate Fagan, your view of it all?
Yeah, this was obviously impressive, but if we put it into historical context, in '97, Tiger Woods was 21 strokes ahead of the average score for guys who played all 4 rounds. Jordan was 15.6 strokes ahead for all guys that did all 4 rounds. So, okay, that's really impressive, but it's not like historically impressive. And what that says to me is that he's got guys around him in this generation of golf who are going to be competing in a way that Tiger didn't have, the way he dominated the late 90s and early 2000s. Jordan's got more competition, so this is great, but he's going to be battling every tournament with guys who are right on his level.
Adonde back in.
Exactly. The course is longer than 1997, and the field is tougher than what Tiger faced in 1997. First time that there were 4 other golfers at 11 under or better. So he's got stiffer competition in this era than Tiger faced back then.
Spieth didn't dominate like Tiger did because there are some guys like Rose and Mickelson and eventually Rory who played fantastic golf that could have won him other Masters tournaments. But Spieth was that far ahead, he just didn't let it bother him.
Yeah, this is interesting. You rarely have a second-place finisher, though, who was as close as he had in this tournament. Phil Mickelson said, we don't care. We don't care anything at all that happened to him. We are looking for the next Tiger Woods. Let's just let him be Jordan.
Oh, I know, but it's better to be said that the leaderboard was just bananas. There was a 19 in red, which we've never seen before at the Masters, and it was names on top of names on top of names. Of course, Tiger, he's back, as previously said by you people. But he's also a Derrick Rose Wolverine hybrid because he's self-injuring and self-healing, apparently, popping bones back into place, if you believe that, Kate. How encouraged should Tiger Woods be with this Masters performance?
Well, he played so much better than a lot of people thought he was going to play. But the problem is, at the end of it, on Sunday, he's saying that he's going to take 3 weeks off. He's going to take a month off. So whatever rhythm he's building back by playing. He's just going home, and certainly he's going to work on his game, but nothing's the same as actually being out there. So if this is the way he's playing now, he's going to show up, he's going to find a rhythm over the weekend, and then he's going to give it all back, and then he's going to have to build back into the rhythm. That's concerning.
Bomani?
Well, I'm torn on this because I think a lot of people thought that Tiger wouldn't make the cut, and there was a point in the course of the weekend where he was in the top 5 on the leaderboard, but he finished tied for 17th at this Masters this year. The Masters is normally the major that he performs the best at, even though they've done so much to try to make it where he couldn't win it. He consistently finishes highly, and he consistently finishes higher in the Masters than he does in the rest of the major tournaments. So how encouraging is the T17? I don't really have the answer for that. Remember this, though. He almost won this tournament 2 years ago. It wasn't that long ago that he was still the best player in the world. I don't know how you can really tell what's coming next if we don't know how healthy he's going to be or really anything else.
I think he should be very encouraged by what he was able to do. A lot of people didn't think he'd make the cut. He certainly hadn't done anything this year to show he was capable of that. But I agree with Kate. I think he needs to change his mindset now and say, I've got to play some more golf. I can't just show up for majors and play one tournament 2 or 3 weeks before that major and consider myself ready. I can build on this and make use of this, but he's not going to be able to do it playing at home in Florida.
So if you say I agree with Kate, then Kate gets the point. Thank you very much, Kalisha. Done there.
He was behind me.
I got a different point, and that it's really not about Tiger Woods anymore. Think about it. It would have taken his greatest score ever at Augusta to win yesterday, and even if he could turn back the clock to 2005, the last time he won at 12 under, that score would only be good for 4th. Think about it. He started with Rory McIlroy yesterday in the final pairing. Rory beat him by 7 strokes. He just can't keep up with these guys. So even if he gets back to 10 years ago or so, it's not going to be enough with this new generation. So we saw some positive signs that he can take steps forward, but I don't think there are enough steps that he can take in order to keep up with these guys now.
Well, one thing, too, he only hit 2 fairways in the final round. And vintage Tiger Woods, that almost wouldn't matter so much because he was better at erasing mistakes than anybody had ever been. He can't afford to only hit 2 fairways. He's just not that kind of good anymore.
Kalisha.
It doesn't bother me personally what he said on the 13th tee Saturday. It does bother some people. But he does need to lose this idea that he's shocked when the ball doesn't hit the fairway on his tee shots. Most of them don't.
Well, isn't that actually the definition of golf? People screaming when their shots go in a different direction. I think you guys are burying the lead. He put a bone back into place in his body in the middle. No, he didn't, Kalisha. So you're questioning whether he's Wolverine here in self-healing.
Couldn't happen.
All right. Don and Kalisha 10, Jones 11, Bacon 9. We're taking a break right here. Coming up, Russell Wilson's True Sport Dream in Buy or Sell. Stick around.
Buy or sell.
Quick math. Question. What's bigger, 54, 43, or 16?
54?
In the scoring race, it's Westbrook's 54. In normal human life, it's 43 shots. And in the playoff chase for 8, it would have been the 16th technical foul, but that was rescinded today. So Russ is good to go for tonight's Gots to Have Her against Portland. Adane, what are you buying? What are you selling from Russell Westbrook?
Buying revitalized playoff hopes for the Thunder with Westbrook playing and LaMarcus Aldridge out for Portland. I'm also buying the 43 shots because he made 21 of them and his teammates only shot 20 from 52.
So he shot at a better percentage. I'm going to keep that for the record, though. You're buying 43 shots for one player. That's good to know. How about you, Kalisha?
I'm buying that he deserves to play. This league loves to kick its best players out for taking 2 steps off a bench on a fake fight or for getting a technical foul that seems rather marginal. I'm glad they brought him back. I don't think they make the playoffs, though. I think New Orleans does.
You got New Orleans. How about you, Bomani?
I am reluctantly buying the 43 shots, and I'm reluctantly buying the 43 shots because the dude is utterly unguardable, and you look at who the other dudes are that are on the floor who aren't taking shots, you never want them taking shots anyway.
Waiters gets his shots. Cantor gets his shots.
But he gets his shots. Well, I mean, of course, Waiters is going to get his shots. He's going to get his shots no matter with one arm. He's going to get his.
All right. There's still only one ball for the Thunder. I mean, we have this conversation every year. Kate, how about you? Where were you on this weekend?
Well, I'm buying that the technical should be rescinded. That wasn't a technical. And I'm buying the Thunder getting into the playoffs now. I think they go 2-0 over these next 2 games. They got the depleted Trailblazers, and then they got the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the Pelicans are running into the Spurs on their final
playing
game.
The best basketball of anybody right now because the Spurs are the Spurs, right? Buy or sell too. The Spurs spurring like only the Spurs can. 11 straight, right, as the games start to matter. They are the 2 seed in the West today, but 2 to 6 is about as tight as my sides right now. Kalisha, does that 2 seed matter to anybody, generally, or to the Spurs, particularly?
It matters to the Spurs, but not because of getting to play those scrappy Dallas Mavericks, the number 7 seed, the team that gave them the best battle in the playoffs.
I was about to mute you, but you're right. Last year,
it matters because if you don't get the 2, you might, by losing 1 game, you could end up with the 5. You could go all the way down to a team that's not going to have home court advantage in any series.
Do you think San Antonio needs home court advantage to run in the West?
Everybody likes to have it. They don't need it, but they like.
Bomani Jones, how about you?
Oh, Tim, you seem to be acting as though last year's Mavericks had Rajon Rondo on their team. They did not. This year's team does have Rondo, and that's why they're the team you want to play against in the first round and why you want to get that number 2 seed. The other thing with the Spurs, they're second in the league this year in defensive efficiency. You can do the on and off with Kawhi Leonard stuff. They are a very, very good defensive team this year. Fagan.
Yeah, Spurs need that 2 seed. I think if they play the Mavericks, there's a possibility they sweep them. They need that rest. That's what the Spurs need. That's why they want that 2 seed, because they want to get the home court advantage. And they need somewhere in these first or second rounds, they need to buy some rest time for their guys.
Adande.
I'm buying the Spurs needing the 2 seed, not just because the opponents that they'll face, but saving an extra road trip. They'd be able to stay within Texas, not have to go out to the coast, for example. I think that could help them down the road, the extra rest. And I'm buying the Warriors not wanting to see the Spurs until the conference finals. So they'd be very happy to see them in that 2-3 slot.
Kalish, I'll let you defend your Mavericks and Rondo at point guard.
Somebody in Miami in his custom suits hasn't noticed that Rondo has 49 assists, 10 turnovers the last 5 games. Starting to come around.
Bomani, how do you plead?
Okay, we're getting this happy. That's where we come with Rondo now, right? That's what's getting you so charged up about it. Good job. See you guys next season.
I don't know. I think you could have come up with a better response to that, Bomani Jones. The man gave you some stats. You could have responded. We'll move on. Buy or sell three. Russell Wilson telling Real Sports he would honestly play 2 sports. To Brian Gumbel's rebut of what's stopping you. I don't know. I might push the envelope a little bit one of these days. Just a negotiating flaw here, Bomani, or do you really think Wilson wants to play 2 sports?
Well, when he got to college, he was thought of as a baseball player primarily. He was drafted out of high school. I can see if this is something that he sees himself as wanting to do. The problem is he hasn't gotten that fat NFL paycheck yet. He's not leaving that until he gets it, and I think that this is part of the goal.
So you think this is negotiating here? How about you, Kay?
In part.
I don't think it's negotiating, but I buy that he wants to, but I don't buy that he can. In 2015, as a franchise NFL quarterback, you can't be spending months playing baseball. You're not a running back in the 80s or a cornerback in the 90s. You just can't do this when you're a franchise quarterback.
Adonda?
I'm selling Wilson using this as the same type of leverage as, say, John Elway did when he wanted out of Baltimore and got his way to Denver. And I'm also selling him playing both sports, not as a quarterback, not in this day and age.
Kalishaw.
My question is, when he comes to the Rangers and ends up in Hickory, North Carolina, is he ready to buy the kind of bus Michael Jordan bought for the Birmingham Barons to make all those road trips?
Kalishaw 20, Jones 19, Adonda 18. Some new cuts here, custom music here. You know, once you go custom, you never go back. Isn't that right, Bomani Jones? Vegas 17, you're the first to go. What's the last word?
Yo, congrats to Jewel Lloyd, who declared early for the WNBA draft.
That's it, Vegas. Lightning rounds next. And coming up, your happy trails to the rest of the American League, because these Royals and Tigers are good. This is Umbridge McGee's Bad Friday from the London Session. Sport! Kalishaw 20, Adonde 18, Bomani Jones 18. Anybody's ball game tonight. 4 positive steroid tests in the first week plus of the baseball season. That matches the total of last year already. All 4 pitchers too, Adonde. What do you make of this?
Well, maybe now we understand why the pitchers seem to be gaining the upper hand on the hitters. And also, please don't talk about the steroid era as if it's past tense. Remember, it's still ongoing.
Kalishaw?
Given that this substance is so old, you wonder if maybe it's part of something else and these players didn't even either thought they wouldn't get caught or thought something could possibly mask it, because this was an easily detectable substance 30 years ago.
Bomani Jones.
Well, J.A., the statistics do indicate that we've got a different brand of baseball now than we did for about that 15-year period that we're talking about. So I do think that we're in a new era. And why are we in a new era and people are using the steroid that Ben Johnson got caught on? The surprising part about this is the utter lack of sophistication that seemed to be used.
So is this problematic for Major League Baseball, the Commissioner Rob Manfred, both?
I still say catching them is the most important part. You're going to always have people who try to cheat.
Royals bullpen right now. Their ERA, squadoosh, picking up right where they left off. Tigers team batting average going into today's game, 355. They had 4 guys, the top 4 in the American League, all on their team. Whose start is more significant, Cal Shaw?
I think it's the Tigers because the Royals are just the Royals. They're really good defensively and the depth in pitching they have. The Tigers, after losing Scherzer, Verlander's on the DL, they're not the team they used to be, but they're just hitting their way.
I got to push you here. What do you
everybody.
mean the Royals are just the Royals? What does that even mean?
I think the Royals went to the World Series last year. I think they have more pitching than anybody in the American League.
Okay.
I think they're
Bomani
good.
Jones?
Right, but Tim, just because they went to the World Series last year doesn't mean that we looked at them as a team that you had to watch out for coming in this season. A lot of teams have been picked above the Royals in a lot of places coming in because they felt like last year was kind of lucky. They look to be pretty good this year in spite of their managerial shortcomings that will come up to bite them before it's all said and done.
You know what? It wasn't mute you now, though. Before all is said and done, let it happen first, Bomani. You were waiting to say it all last year, and you got 10 mutes for it anyway. Adonde, go ahead.
We did have questions if the Royals could sustain, if that was a fluke, especially after they lost Shields in the offseason. But their defense is showing that it can help out the pitching. The top fielding percentage in the American League. And we need the Royals back in the playoffs. They were so fun, and it vastly increases the likelihood that we see someone break out the young jump at third base in the middle of a playoff game.
All right. Adonde Callis will be our showdown here. Bomani Jones, I saw you in a periodical in the greater Miami region this past week talking about your clothing. Anything you'd like to tell America right now?
Well, I mean, they listed me as a Miami man of style. It appears that the people who don't have custom clothes like to hate on the dude who tells you that when you have custom
Please
clothes.
give a shout out to your tailor right now.
About that. Hey, my man Nick in Hong Kong, shout out. We made a magazine, baby. Tony just opened it.
In Hong Kong? You go out to Hong Kong for your clothes? Man. All right, Adonde Callis showdown next. Straight ahead. Hello.
Oh, dear.
Report. All right, Kalishaw and Adonde in this dangerously, regrettably tight showdown here between Timmy and Jay. Let's go right here. 2 plays from yesterday's Astros-Rangers game. One is George Springer's game-saving walk-off grand slam robbing catch, went over the wall. And B was Colby Rasmus's triple with his fly down. Adonde, which play stood out to you?
Is this even a question? I mean, I'm clearly going to go with the game-saving athletic play instead of the replay that asks you to zone and zero in on a man's crotch region. I'm going with the catch.
I got to go with the catch as well. George Springer is one of the young superstars of the game, not hitting like one yet this year, saved a game. And what you don't see on that replay is Leonis Martin, not a long ball hitter. He had to run a long way to make that. The other play, let's just let it go. Let's let Colby go.
Let's not let it go. Let's let it linger around here forever. By the way, Kalishaw, maybe take care of your business down there if you just can real quick. There's a breeze there.
Okay.
Lana Berry has it as the year of the triple, and she's right there. I have it the year of the fly zip. That's where I'm going with. No points for anybody. We move on. Showdown 2. Though a few days old, this has to be celebrated or criticized. Kendrick Perkins' 100-step journey. Kalishaw, go ahead.
As someone who watches postmen and their pivot feet all the time, and I'm amazed that they'll move take 3 or 4 steps and not get called. This is just a record-setting moment, perhaps a watershed moment as the NBA realizes maybe
sometimes we have to make allowances in the name of encouraging positive things, such as Paul George traveling on the way to his first dunk since he returned from that broken leg. He was looking for teammates, so maybe it took him a few extra steps to look for his teammates. Teamwork.
Did you see Kendrick Perkins' face after he did it, by the way? Points, Tim Kalishaw. Showdown 3 is collegiate gaffery, which is to say a painful experience but a valuable life lesson learned. Maybe. Boston goaltender who got beat on the dump for the Providence Friars National Championship tying goal, which then preceded Providence National Championship winning goal. And the Oregon steeplechaser who celebrated down the stretch only to get passed. What's the more valuable life lesson learned, Adonde?
Well, we didn't learn anything from the hockey because we already knew goaltender is the toughest position in sports, so no need to add ridicule to it. The lesson, as always, in the track, though, run through the tape. In life, run through the tape.
No, you got to focus on the other. That's the national championship. That's Boston University with its rich history there. There's no way that's not like a tough play for the goalie to make. He lost his concentration. You can't do that.
The Shaw for the FaceTime. 30 seconds.
Well, it's that time for that first round Stanley Cup extravaganza. I have 3 underdogs and 3 road winners for you. The Minnesota Wild, nice Stanley Cup pick. Obviously, they're going to surprise the St. Louis Blues. The Chicago Blackhawks are going to have a tough time, but they are going to get past the Nashville Predators. That might be the best series in the West. And in the East, only one underdog road winner, the New York Islanders over Washington. We are not ready to close Nassau Coliseum and all its greatness just yet.
Commissioner Kalishaw.
Every year.
He does it every year. He's right.
Oh, people
Never, but he does it every year. That's the important thing. All right, that's going to do it, folks. Thanks for coming around on a 23-and-a-half-hour break. The side of my head is freezing. We'll see you tomorrow.
Geico presents Strange Saving Stories. Astronomers detected an interstellar transmission. It stated, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. The implications were staggering. Was the cosmos telling us we could all save hundreds on car insurance with Geico? Or did their radar merely pick up a signal from the nearby Rufus and Clyde's morning show? We may never know.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
ESPN Radio, bringing you directly to the biggest events in sports.
Center field, well hit, Hunter back, out of here!
From opening day of baseball,
Throw to the plate, safe at the plate!
right through the World Series.
For the 3rd time in 5 seasons, the San Francisco Giants are the champions of the baseball world.
Whether it's LeBron, Chris Paul, or Kevin Durant, when the NBA tips off, ESPN Radio is right there when a champion is crowned.
We have a new world champion. The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
And when the magic of bowl season arrives, ESPN Radio is your home for the new college football playoff.
The college football playoff first national champion, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
The biggest events in sports can be found right here on ESPN Radio. 2 of baseball's best go head-to-head in interleague action when the Tigers head to St. Louis to face the Cardinals.
That one is gone.
The pregame at 7 Eastern, first pitch at 8, Sunday on ESPN and ESPN Radio.